7 days.
More than 7 days of menstruation is called as your menorrhagia. So once we are done with menorrhagia, I want to discuss about so many interesting topics with very small terminologies itself. So please tell me, when a female has menorrhagia, what type of anemia she can develop?
Iron deficiency.
Iron.
Very good. Iron deficiency anemia. Highlight this point, you'll get question. So that's it. Shall we start, or we'll see for maybe 10-15 seconds more? So till then, let me set up everything. All right. So please tell me one thing. In last class, we discussed about menorrhagia. Hypomenorrhea we discussed? No, we didn't discuss about hypomenorrhea. So we need to discuss about hypomenorrhea. Now, when we are speaking about hypomenorrhea, etc., so I want you people to understand one basic aspect. What is that basic simple thing I want you people to know? Now, so please listen to me very carefully. Any person who is not having menstrual periods, what do we call that condition as?
Amenorrhea.
That is called as absence of menses is called as amenorrhea. That is called as amenorrhea. So what is the most common cause of amenorrhea? Overall most common cause of amenorrhea. Guys, think and tell me, what is the most common cause? Not PCOS, please. It's not even disease. Very good. It's what? Pregnancy. It's your pregnancy. So before going to our amenorrhea, let's start understanding about basic hypomenorrhea and dysmenorrhea. Followed by that, we'll discuss the rest. Okay. Now hypomenorrhea, again, you'll definitely get a question this time. So I want you people to learn everything very carefully. Okay. So we were talking about menstrual cycle disorders. In that, we are discussing the next topic, that is called as hypomenorrhea. Can anybody tell me what is hypomenorrhea?
Decrease in menstruation.
So basically decrease of menstrual cycle or menstrual blood. So that is basically if there is a less than 20 ml of blood, or if periods less than 2 days, we call it as what, my dear students? Hypomenorrhea. So can anybody tell me what exactly we are discussing with hypomenorrhea? Is your less blood lost in menstrual cycle? So how will you know? How can a female tell that she had 20 ml of blood lost? How can you know that? Based on what? क्या पूछोगे? What question you ask that female patient to understand hypomenorrhea? Please tell me, hypomenorrhea, based on what you'll understand? So please listen to me very carefully. That is called, that will be found out with the help of number of pads a female has to change. Based on that, we will be able to understand. Okay, clear everybody? So this number of pads, how many pads will indicate how much blood? So that you'll learn with the clinical practice. Clear everybody? Shall we proceed further?
Yes.
Shall we proceed? Okay, now once we understood about hypomenorrhea, so what could be the cause for hypomenorrhea? One of the most important cause is called as Asherman syndrome. What is the name of the disease? Asherman syndrome. When we are speaking of Asherman syndrome, my dear students, please understand about Asherman syndrome. What exactly is the Asherman syndrome? Can anybody tell me what is that Asherman syndrome? What you have heard so far? What you have heard so far, what is Asherman syndrome? So Asherman syndrome is very important one to be understood. Okay, when I'm telling you very important one to be understood, so listen to me very carefully. You have the uterus of a female. Okay, now please don't tell me by it looks like bladder. Consider this is the uterus. Okay, now when we are speaking of uterus, what is the most common? What is the innermost layer? Please, not most common. What is the innermost layer here?
Endometrium layer.
Endometrium. Now what happens, so we have something called as curettage. What is curettage? That is called as dilation and curettage. What is that called as? Dilation and curettage. What exactly is dilation and curettage? Can you people tell me, please? So please listen to me very carefully. Dilation and curettage is nothing but, so very simple thing. We dilate the cervix. What do? We dilate the cervix. And we have a special loop. Okay. So the loop would be something like this. Approximately would be like this. Now with this loop, we do curettage. Curettage is nothing but just simple as that. We put the loop and take a scrape. Why should we do dilation and curettage? Why should we do dilation and curettage? We do dilation and curettage. Most important factors, please listen to me, for taking the biopsy of the endometrium. True or false? For biopsy, can we do curettage?
No.
Yes, for taking endometrial biopsy, we can do curettage. Okay. Apart from that, we can do something called as post-abortal curettage. Why do we do post-abortal curettage? What do you think? Abortion means what, Pacha? Abortion means what? Please speak freely. Abortion means what? Abortion के मतलब क्या होते हैं? मतलब I don't need a technical definition. Just tell me, like, what do you think is abortion? जो तुम्हें पता है.
Fetus loss.
What is that?
Fetus loss.
Very good. That is called as loss of fetus. So how exactly it happens? Imagine a female got pregnant. After she got pregnant, she underwent medical termination of pregnancy. After she underwent MTP, imagine there were some fetal parts which were remaining inside the uterus. If fetal parts remain in the uterus, and it is not growing because the drugs were given, etc., was done. So some part of the fetus remained there. So if some part of the fetus remained there, so that will lead to bleeding or not lead to bleeding, my dear students? It will definitely lead to bleeding. Now what am I doing with my curettage? Basically, I am removing this part. This is only called as post-abortal curettage. Why do we do post-abortal curettage? To remove water. That is called as, basically, as a treatment of RPOC. What is RPOC? RPOC is nothing but remaining products of water.
Fetus.
नहीं, सी के हिसाब से.
Conception.
Very good. That is called as conception. So if a female has got conceived and if the few parts of the conception are remaining in the body, we are removing with the help of post-abortal curettage. Apart from that, dilation and curettage is one cause of the Asherman syndrome. Another cause of the Asherman syndrome is nothing but endometrial TB. So what exactly is endometrial TB? It is a tuberculosis infection of the endometrium. जब endometrial TB की बात आता है, now can anybody tell me, is it a primary infection or a secondary infection?
Secondary.
Only one person said. Rest of you think primary? मतलब TB bacteria will go to endometrium directly, or it will go to lungs. From there it might spread to endometrium. Definitely it will go to lungs. From there it will spread to endometrium. So it is, you are absolutely right. What is type of TB? It is primary and secondary?
Secondary.
TB, secondary tuberculosis. So what happens is very interesting here. The pathogenesis behind the Asherman syndrome, in both of them, there is very simple thing. There is formation of adhesive bands. What is that? Adhesive bands. What is this adhesive bands made out of? Adhesive bands are made out of connective tissue. Why connective tissue? Because if you did like you did a dilation and curettage. So when you're doing a dilation and curettage, what is going to happen? Listen to me very carefully. So very simple thing. When you're doing this dilation and curettage, you did very harshly. Okay. When you do it very harshly, all the endometrium basal layers will also go damaged. Once endometrial layers go damaged, that will lead to what? That will lead to inflammation. Post-inflammation, what is going to happen? That will be what? That will be connective tissue formation. That will be connective tissue formation. So this connective tissue formation is only called as adhesive bands. So basically what happens? The layers of the endometrium goes sticking to each other. They go sticky to each other. Everybody clear so far? Clear ho gaya? Okay, now please focus here. I'm sharing my screen to you people. You can look a picture. I want to show you people a dilation and curettage का picture ताकि आप लोगों को और भी clearly समझ आ जाए. ठीक है? Just a second. See, can you see the Google screen now, please?
Yes, bhaiya.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Okay, now can you see this loop here? Curettage wala loop. Can you see this loop? This is the instrument which is passed into the
Yes.
uterus. And what we are doing, my dear students? What we are doing?
Dilation.
We are doing the
curettage.
curettage. Everybody clear so far about dilation and curettage?
Yes.
क्या हो गया? कुछ तो बताओ.
Yes, bhaiya.
Okay. Now, once you people understood about this, now let me show you some important aspects here. तो यहाँ पे कुछ दिख रहा है आप लोगों को? क्या? Yes, tell me. कुछ पूछ रहे थे?
या भैया डायलेशन क्यूरेटाज में आपने बायोप्सी मेंशन की थी, तो ये समझ में नहीं आया भैया बायोप्सी वाला.
डायलेशन एंड क्यूरेटाज बायोप्सी के लिए भी हम लोग कर सकते हैं. मतलब जब डायलेशन क्यूरेटाज आपका एंडोमेट्रियल बाहर आएगा क्यूरेटाज के साथ, तो कैन यू यूज फॉर बायोप्सी आपके एंडोमेट्रियल. अगर कोई फीमेल को एंडोमेट्रियल कैंसर आपने सस्पेक्ट किया. ओके, now can you see this important here? There will be a question for you people. Can you see these rods here? Continuously.
Yes.
ये rods जो भी है, ये rods जितने भी है, this ones, all these ones, are all of them are of same size, or look here from starting to ending, are they of increasing size, my dear students?
Increasing in size.
Increasing size. So what are those increasing size equipments? They are called as Hagar dilators. What are they called as? What are they called as? Hagar dilators. मैं लिखवाता हूँ उनको Hagar dilators. Everybody clear so far?
Yes.
Now, why do we need this Hagar dilators? Because आपने curettage का loop देखे हो ना? Curettage का बड़ा loop था वो. ये जो बायसाब है. This big loop. Can you notice this loop here? One second. Can you notice this loop here? So that loop has to go into the uterus. That loop has to go into the uterus. अगर uterus के अंदर वो loop जाना चाहिए, तो now the uterus का opening कौन है? What is the opening of the uterus, my dear students? What is the opening of the uterus called as? Cervix. So will your loop directly pass into the cervix? Just a second. Guys, थोड़ा गायनी में क्या होता है ना, बहुत सारे पिक्चर बेस्ड ओरिएंटेशन भी चाहिए. इरिटेट नहीं होना. This is how it has to be learned. Okay. If I want to do it, dilate करने के लिए dilate use करते हैं, then it will be very lame way of explaining, and that is not the way I teach. All of you know that very clear, right? So just a second, अपना और एक पिक्चर ले लेंगे हम लोग, then we will be able to understand even better. So just wait and wait. Okay. So last time we took up a female pelvis ka anatomy, right? Uterus is which direction? Anteverted uterus or retroverted uterus?
Anteverted.
Anteverted uterus. Anteverted uterus. Okay. Now listen to me. 1 second. Now, can you people look at this very clearly? Now, please listen to me. Please listen to me. You have this particular aspect, that is vagina. After vagina, this opening is called as what? This opening जो भी है, that is called as cervix. Into the cervix, will the person be able to pass this thing directly curettage? So that is not possible. If that is not possible, what we have to do? We need to dilate the cervix. So how will we dilate the cervix? So very simple thing. Dilators are of same size or of different increasing size?
Increasing.
Increasing size. Take one dilator. First smallest size dilator, put it and take it out. Then slightly increase the size, put it and take it out. Even more increase the size and put it, take it out. So you keep insert, take out, all the dilators one by one in an increasing size to dilate what? To dilate the cervix. To dilate the cervix. So dilation of cervix is done by which equipment is very important question for you people. With the help of in DNC, what and all we are going to use? What are the equipments we are using? The equipments which we are using is one of them is your dilator. One of them is your dilator with the help of what? Hagar dilator. With the help of Hagar dilator. Hagar dilator तुम्हारा क्वेश्चन में कैसा नाम देगा? Hagar देगा कि कुछ और नाम देगा? What do you think? Hagar or something? Think. Hormone in Russian, what do we call hormone in Russian?
Garhorn.
Gormon.
Gormone. So it will be Hagar dilator or Geiger dilator. It will be a Geiger dilator. It can even be given as a Geiger dilator. It is but basically called as Hagar dilators. Clear, everybody? Now, curettage is done with the help of water. The equipment which are the loop which we are using for curettage is only called as curette, not carrot, but curette. What do we call it as? Curette. Everybody clear so far? Chalo. Now, once we understood about this, what do you find? So there will be formation of bands, that is connective tissues. So this is the aspect of your what? Your Asherman syndrome. So how will you diagnose Asherman syndrome? Again, it's important aspect. Diagnosis is based on how do you diagnose? Now tell me. Now this is the initial stages of gynecology. We need to know lots and lots about investigations in gynae. So please tell me, how do you diagnose Asherman syndrome?
Ultrasound.
किसने बोला ultrasound? Who? Please. मैं गाली नहीं दूंगा, बोलो कौन बोले ultrasound?
Shreyas.
Okay, you told. Okay. Any other who say ultrasound? Now listen to me. So gynae, whenever you talk about gynae, what is the first investigative method comes into your brain? You're absolutely right. Ultrasound. You're absolutely right. Ultrasound. But what exactly is ultrasound? Name itself has. It's a technique based on what? Sound. It is a technique based on sound. So can you be able to find out these adhesive bands by passing out the sound? No, that won't be a clear picture. That won't give a clear picture. So how exactly you are going to diagnose it? You can look at the band. तुम्हारा आंखों को bands दिखनी चाहिए. तो bands कैसा दिखेगा? How will you look inside of uterus? Copy. That is only called as hysteroscopy. What is that called as? Hysteroscopy. Now please listen to me very carefully. So basically what are there? There is a uterus, then there is cervix, followed by that here there is a vagina, there is vaginal. Okay. Now here please understand. Now please very carefully listen to me. Now whenever a camera is passed into the vagina, we call it as what? Colposcopy. We call it as what? Colposcopy. Okay. Whenever we pass the same camera into the uterus, we call it as hysteroscopy. What do we call it as? Hysteroscopy. Now, when we are speaking of hysteroscopy, so we are basically passing camera into the uterus. When we are looking at that hysteroscopy, you are able to find what? क्या दिखेगा आप लोग? What do you see? What do you see? Please tell me. In comes the early form. What do you see? Connective
Adhesive
tissue
bonds.
formation of adhesive bands. So once you find out these bands, now will you keep quiet, or diagnosis and treatment both can be done together? Hysteroscopy and breakdown of adhesions, that is called as adhesiolysis. Okay. Now you did the adhesiolysis. Along with that, will you just break the adhesions and come out, or you do something? You should not. Let's see what happens here is that, so if uterus, it has to be empty like this, cervix. So I'm drawing an activated uterus now. Instead of that, uterus was like this. All the connections were present. So will you allow the collapsing of the uterus again, or you need to shut it, like, you need to keep it open?
Open.
Open.
So you need to keep it open. How exactly you can keep it open? Can you place an instrument here? What is that called as? That is called as with IUCD placement. With the IUCD placement is the treatment of your Asherman syndrome. Everybody clear so far? Pakka? Can I
Bro,
proceed?
can you repeat?
Very simple. See, you have this uterus. Hopefully, you can understand from this picture. See, one picture of female pelvis, I tend to complete full of gynecology. On this picture. Okay, listen. Now, do you see a gap in the uterus? Like, there is empty space in the uterus. Instead of that, if this full area was stuck together like this, okay. If this area was stuck together like this with adhesive band, so will you let that happen? No. So basically, you broke the adhesions, but what can happen? The adhesions can come back again and causing the collapse of the uterus. So if that should not happen, we place a copper T, intrauterine contraceptive device. Everybody clear so far at least now? Yeah. Now here only I want to explain you people something interesting. What exactly is that something interesting? Now look here, this part is your cervix. Cervix. Now please listen to me. Do you find this area, vaginal fold, it is going like this? Do you see this both curves, please? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. But I have taken what? I have taken a section like this, horizontal section. But please, so I have taken a section like this. When I have taken a section like this, I am able to find two pouches. But how many it is supposed to be present normally? In three-dimensional structure. One to anterior, one to posterior, two to the lateral side. Able to follow me or not? See, if a person is standing like this, if I cut him into, if I cut into two halves and look at that, I'm able to see this. Yes or no? But when complete person is there, posteriorly one fold would be there. Yes or no? Anteriorly one fold, laterally one fold, and laterally one fold. So totally how many folds like this would be there?
4.
Now please listen to me very carefully. That is your, look here, this area where empty spaces are present in all the four sides. That is only called as what? What of vagina? What do we call that as? They're called as what? Fornix. They're called as what? Fornix. They're called as what? Fornices of vagina. Now, आप लोगों को one more important aspect. So if I consider about fornices of vagina, this is a fornix of the vagina. True or false? This is a fornix of the vagina. Now listen to me. When we are doing a pervaginal examination, so basically, how many fingers are used for PV? First question, very important. PV के लिए कितना fingers? Rectum के लिए कितना fingers? Vagina के लिए कितना fingers for examination?
2.
2 fingers for what? Vaginal examination or
Vagina.
rectal examination? For vaginal examination, 2 fingers. For rectal examination,
1 finger.
1 finger. Now listen to me. A doctor passes a finger here. A doctor passes a finger here. Once a doctor passes a fingers here, now the lateral fornixes are there, right? Through the lateral fornix, they are so much expandable. Matlab, listen to me. See, this is one. See, whatever I'm going to take up now, consider this part I am showing with my hand. Okay, one fornix. Everybody, now this is one fornix. This is one fornix. My fingers are in that fornix. Okay. From this fornix, I'm able to press to the side, and palpate if any mass is there or not. So when I put my finger and trying to check the surrounding area of the fornix of vagina is called as what? That is only called as adnexa. That's only called as adnexa. Okay. So in the fornices of vagina, how many fornix are present, my dear students? 4 of them. In that, which is the deepest fornix? Deepest one. Now, deepest one again. Wait a minute. You can understand with this picture, please. Deepest fornix is which one? Now you people tell me. Looking at this picture. See, this whatever is there, it is towards the rectum. Rectum is present behind the anterior side, posterior side. So, what is the deepest fornix? Posterior fornix. Posterior fornix. So, please tell me which fornix is the deepest one now.
Posterior.
Posterior fornix. Posterior fornix. Okay. Now we understood about basic anatomy also. Then let's proceed further here. Okay. Okay. Now hysteroscopy, adhesive lysis, everything was over. Now female discharged. Okay, story is over. But comes the next type of menstrual defect. What is that next type of menstrual defect? That is called as your cryptomenorrhea. Cryptomenorrhea. Now, please tell me what is cryptomenorrhea means. Crypto means what? Cryptocurrency to all of you know. So crypto means what? Tell me.
Invisible, not
Invisible or hidden. Exact meaning. That is
not visible.
So that is not exactly not visible. That is hidden. Okay. So crypto means hidden. So what can lead cryptomenorrhea? So cryptomenorrhea people will come to you with complaints of amenorrhea, my dear students. What is that? Amenorrhea. What type of amenorrhea will be present is our first question. So let me teach you people amenorrhea and cryptomenorrhea together. Okay. Now what exactly is amenorrhea? Amenorrhea. Absence of what? Of menses. Absence of menses. Okay. Now when we are speaking about absence of menses, how many types of absence of menses would be there? Primary and secondary. So what is primary amenorrhea? What is primary amenorrhea? Primary amenorrhea is seen in 32-year-old female with one child. Yes or no?
No.
No.
Oh, so what is primary amenorrhea? For a person who never had even single period, or menses comes to you with amenorrhea. How can they come to you with amenorrhea? Imagine 18-year-old female came to the hospital with not having any period. 18-year-old. So is it normal or abnormal? Is the normal age of
30.
12 to 13 years old. 12 to 13-year people has to periods. But if it is delays, we call it as amenorrhea. So cryptomenorrhea is usually what type of amenorrhea? It is usually a type of primary amenorrhea. Why primary amenorrhea? With the causes, people will be able to understand. So let me teach you people primary amenorrhea. What are the causes of this cryptomenorrhea? Cryptomenorrhea is caused by two most important pathologies. What are those two most important pathologies? Problem number one. Problem number one. That problem number one is something called as transverse vaginal septum. What is it called as? Transverse vaginal septum. And the next important aspect is called as imperforate hymen. Imperforate hymen. Now, please tell me, hymen is something like, if this is a vaginal tissue, okay? This is a vaginal tissue. Here is the cervix, okay? This is a vagina of the female. Now, since considering vagina of female here, for example, when I'm talking normal female will have hymen like this, option A, or this is option A, or hymen like this completely covered, option B. What do you think? What do you think?
A.
Hymen will be open or hymen will be completely layered like this, closed, allowing nothing to pass?
A.
The answer, tell me please.
Open.
Open.
It will
Open.
be open. That will be open. So normally hymen has an opening. Okay. So please listen to me carefully. There are few females in which there is possibility that hymen will not have a perforation. That is called as imperforate hymen. And next one is called as transverse vaginal septum. What is transverse vaginal septum? See, let's consider this is a cervix, and this is the uterus of the female, and this is the vaginal fornix. Okay. Now, in the vagina, usually some people will have this particular septum, a thick septum layer will be there. That is only called as what, my dear students? Transversely present vaginal septum. Why this transverse vaginal septum can occur? Can anybody tell me please? What? Please tell me. So that is very simple. The total length of the vagina could be divided into upper 2/3 of the vagina and lower 1/3 of the vagina. True or false? Yes. So upper 2/3 will develop from top to down, and lower 1/3 develop from up to down. So after this lower part going up and upper part coming down, they has to fuse together and make an opening. Instead of there is opening, but if they both remain closed like this, it will create a transverse vaginal septum. Everybody clear? Clear? Now, once we understood about this, let's continue. What is the pathogenesis? Now, patho is what exactly is the patho? Patho is very interesting. Now, because of imperforate hymen or transverse vaginal septum, means now you people will tell me, does this female have normal uterus or abnormal uterus, please, students? Please tell me. Uterus is normal. If uterus is normal, monthly she will have menstrual cycle or no menstrual cycle?
Menstrual cycle.
Very good. Menses is present. If menses is present, what is going to happen? She will bleed, but will the bleed come out? No, because of this imperforate hymen or septum, it is closed. So bleed will remain. So first, what is going to happen? All the bleed is going to come down, and bleed will remain here only in the vagina. Yes or no? Yes or no? So that will lead to what? That will lead to something called as a hematocolpos. What it will lead to? Hematocolpos. Now, after hematocolpos, once vagina is filled here, once vagina is filled with blood, now what is going to happen? Bleed will remain where? Bleed will remain where? Bleed will remain in the uterus itself. True or false?
True.
So that will lead to hematometra. Metra means whom we are referring to? We are referring to the uterus. Now, once we are done with that, now listen to me. After that is also filled, the next cycle will come. Again, she will bleed. If she bleeds, where she is going to bleed now? Whatever bleed will happen now to the uterus. Who is connected, my dear students? Who is connected here? fallopian tube. So blood will remain in the fallopian tube. So we call it as what? Hematosalpinx. Salpinx means what? Fallopian
Fallopian
tube.
tube.
So that lead to next one, hematosalpinx. After hematosalpinx, what is going to happen? She might even have hematoperitoneum, because she might come, all this menstrual blood even come out into the peritoneum. But what I'm trying to tell you people, hematosalpinx, all of them are present. All of them are present. Now, what will be the treatment for this person? So before going to treatment, we need to diagnose. How will you diagnose? How will you diagnose? A female came to you with primary amenorrhea as a complaint. Primary amenorrhea as a complaint. Now, what is the first thing you'll check for a primary amenorrhea patient, my dear?
Ultrasound this time.
अरे अल्ट्रासाउंड से पहले चेक फॉर सेकेंडरी सेक्सुअल कैरेक्टर. सो लेट मी कंबाइन डायग्नोसिस एंड ट्रीटमेंट बोथ टुगेदर. डायग्नोसिस एंड ट्रीटमेंट बोथ टुगेदर as a step-by-step management. Now, what exactly you are going to do? MEMX means management. So first thing you look for secondary sexual characters. If secondary sexual characters, when you look at it, if at all there is two possibilities. One possibility is that a secondary sexual character. Another possibility is that she doesn't have a secondary sexual character. If the person does not have a secondary sexual character, it is some other pathology we need to diagnose. If secondary sexual characters are present, then what you are going to do? You are going to go for a ultrasonography. Ultrasonography, first thing what you need to look up, whether uterus is present or not. Uterus might be present. Uterus you are looking. One possibility is that uterus is present. Another possibility is that uterus is absent. If uterus is absent, again it is something else. Why something else? Because there might be disorders such as Mullerian agenesis, etc. So that is also not possible. Only possibility is that uterus will be present. If uterus is present, then what you are going to find along with that? Along with that, you are going to find hematosalpinx and hematometra and hematocolpos. Clear, everybody? If you find these things, now you are going to go for the treatment. How exactly you are going to go for the treatment? The treatment will be very simple. If there is a septum, guys, the session is going to disconnect. Please join immediately. I'm going to end the session. Immediately join back again. Okay, the session is going to end. I didn't pay attention to the time. I'm really sorry. Join immediately. I'm going to end it.